با گرمترین سلام ها به همه شما دوستان عزیز، سودی یزدی برنت هستم. صبح بعد از ظهر و شب خیلی خوب رو براتون آرزو میکنم. دوستان عزیز، این برنامه امروز که رفتیم داریم نرفتیم چون 31 مارچ هستش، وارد ماه اپریل میشیم و بعد اینکه ماه مارچ یه مقدار ماه دشوار و سختی بود، به خاطر اینکه زمانی که بیشتر نگاه میکنیم به استرولوژی یا نومرولوژی میبینیم که زمانی هستش که با اینکه 20 مارچ عید نوروز شروع میشه، ولی ما یک چیز شیفت سیاره‌ای داریم که در اون زمان ماه و خورشید یه جورایی با همدیگه همزمان میشن و یه جرقه‌ای زده میشه که افراد یه مقدار به هم میریزن و چیزا میاد بیرون و چیزا سرفس شوآپ میکنه و بعد ما میگیم که چرا اینقدر بالا و پایین میشیم و حواسمون نیست و از این داستانا. ولی خبر خوب این هستش که ماه اپریل مسائل خیلی ریلکس تر میشه، نه اینکه تموم میشه درس و خودشون رو نشون نمیدن، ولی یه مقدار آرومتر میشه. جان thanks God مریم میگه آره. ولی 4 اپریل 2 مرتبه یه جرقه دیگه داریم که بهش میگن بلاد مون، یعنی زمانی هستش که خورشید و ماه خیلی کاملا روبروی همدیگه قرار میگیرن و بعد میبینیم که ماه یه حالت قرمزی پیدا میکنه، برای همین بهش میگن که بلاد مون. بنابراین این اکلیپس اتفاقی که میفته هر 2 هفته یک بار میشه، بنابراین توی مارچ داشتیمش، دوباره 2 هفته بعد 4 اپریل دوباره اتفاق میفته. ولی خب خیلی چیز خوبیه برای اینکه چیزا میاد روی همدیگه، اون رابطه هایی که ما با افراد داشتیم، مسائلی که پیش اومده و حل نشده و مثل این میمونه که یونیورس دوباره یه بار دیگه یه شانس دیگه ای به ما میده که اون دعوایی که ما با کسی کردیم، کشمکشی که داشتیم، نمیدونم وب دیزاینرمون اگه ما رو وایسونده و اذیت کرده و هر چیزی شده، دوباره ما روبروی همدیگه قرار میگیریم برای اینکه یه مقدار با یه دید دیگه به مسائل نگاه بکنیم. و مثل این میمونه که اگر تصور بکنین که فرضاً لایه های مختلف، پرده های مختلف روی صورت ما کشته شده که ما درست نمیتونیم ببینیم، از بین اینا دوباره یه پرده دیگه برداشته میشه یا یه لنز دیگه که ما یه کمی چیزا رو عمیق‌تر میتونیم ببینیم و یه مقدار دیدمون تغییر پیدا میکنه. توی برنامه دیروز که داشتم در رویال تایم تیوی صحبت کردم راجع به این قضیه که وقتی که ما متوجه اون واننس یا یکی بودنمون میشیم و اینکه این جهان هستی یا یونیورسال مایند یکی هستش و جدایی درش وجود نداره، بعد ما به این مسئله میرسیم که پس هر چقدر که من بیشتر روی خودم کار بکنم، هرچی که من بیشتر سنتر بشم، به مرکزم برم، اون تعادلم به دست بیاد و چیزهایی که از دید ما جنگ و سافرینگ و مشکل و اینا هستش از اون دید بهشون نگاه نکنیم و فقط متوجه بشیم که این هم یک تصویره که داره در دنیای خارجی من به دید من میاد، بنابراین اون ذهن جهانی که هوشیارتر میشه روی همه اثر میذاره. ولی متاسفانه چون ما متوجه اون یکی بودنمون نیستیم با همه چیزهای دیگه، ما مرتباً جدایی میبینیم. امروز یه جلسه داشتم و توی این جلسه هم یا خیلی از جلسه هایی که اتفاق میفته، زمانی که با افراد صحبت میکنم میگن که خب من نمیفهمم چجوریه که تو میگی که من بخشی از این یونیورس هستم یا یک قسمتی از کرییشن یا خداوند، گاد، هر چی که میخوایم خالق اسمش رو بذاریم هستم. و توی اون زمان یه چیزی برای من اومد که جالب بود و اون این بود که well great my guest is here. Okay, we're gonna... دوستان عزیز، من امروز قرار بود که guest داشته باشم. He can just come ahead, come have a seat, come behind the camera. Yes dear. میخوای بری توی کپچر؟ من ادامه میدم. اوکی. بنابراین من امروز یه مهمونی دارم. مهمون من گم شده بود، دیرش شده بود و زبان فارسی هم صحبت نمیکنه. برای همین سعی میکنیم که یه بریک کوتاه بگیریم، ولی اینجا صحبتمو میبندم و اون قضیه این بود که ما بهشون گفتم که اگر که ما یک کیک شکلاتی درست کردی و اینو 12 تا قسمتش کردی و بعد یه قسمتش رو به من دادی، آیا من میتونم به تو بگم که چرا کیک من شکلاتی نیست، کیک من بلوبریه؟ گفت نه. گفتم پس متوجه میشی وقتی که ما میگیم که ما یکی هستیم، همین مسئله میشه که من نمیتونم یه چیز دیگه‌ای به غیر از خالقم باشم، همونطوری که یه کیک شکلاتی نمیتونه یه تیکش یا کیک بلوبری در بیاد. خب دوستان، میریم یه آگهی کوتاه نگاه میکنیم، برمیگردیم میام و من مهمان امروزم رو بهتون معرفی میکنم. اوکی مریم جان. من امروز جواد هستش و جواد پلیز have a seat darling. جواد فارسی صحبت نمیکنه ولی میتونم بهتون بگم که یکی از دوستان خوب من هستش که اجازه میدم که خودش شروع بکنه و خودش رو معرفی بکنه. Well my dear, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for accepting my invitation.
I'm so honored to be here, Azizam.
Is that the only Farsi word you know?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So because we lost about 20 minutes, we basically have 30 minutes left. And you have such a vast knowledge. I have so many questions, so much to talk about. But let's start by introducing you. Who is Jawad? What does he do?
So, well, thank you so much for having me. First of all, I'm very grateful and honored to be here with you today.
Thank you, darling.
It's such a pleasure also to be able to address your community and through you. Really very, very happy that I'm with you here today and the Persian culture, the Persian people. It's really something I was... there are people that I look up to, you know, I really admire the Persian, Assyrian civilizations and culture and all the wisdom that they brought to humanity. Amazing literature, spirituality, technology, of the ancient times, and it's very, very precious. So many people believe all the wisdom came from the Greeks and other places in antiquity, but the Assyrians and Persians brought great advancement to humanity, in my humble opinion.
Absolutely.
So I do and have done many different things in my short life.
Multi-talent.
And I lived in different countries. And I like to think of myself as an aspiring singer. I like to sing some poetry and songs. And what I have been doing mostly in the last 20 years is healing work, and more specifically since in the last 12 years practicing and teaching acupuncture, and a special kind of acupuncture taught by a Korean scientist called Professor Park Jae-woo. And I know that because I studied with some Iranian doctors that came from Iran to study from him and other doctors together, and medical doctors, Iranian medical doctors, to study sujok, which is hand and foot in Korean. So this type of acupuncture is very, very fast to give results. And it can be practiced with needles or just with pressure, for instance. And some of the things that we see sometimes is chronic pain being improved instantly. Most of the time we see this happening instantly. And I've done it only 60,000 times over the last 12 years. And training doctors in hospitals and universities all over the world. Kazakhstan, Africa, Asia, a lot of places in Europe, and the Middle East, and other places, Japan, etc., etc. I used to do 5 countries every month to teach for a few years. And not everyone is a medical doctor, because we teach healthcare professionals, also chiropractors, acupuncturists, osteopathic doctors, naturopathic doctors. But we also teach moms at home and children, because you can do it yourself. Be your own doctor is our motto. And the basic understanding is that we have a body with a central part, the trunk, with the chest and the abdomen, a central part, and from the trunk 5 projections, 2 arms and 2 legs, and then the head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we look at the structure of the hand, it has also a central part and 5 projections, 5 fingers projecting from it.
Right.
Right. So if we look at our body, the legs in the middle are longer than the arms, and the legs are in the center of the body compared to the arms that are on the outside. If we look at the hand, we see out of the 4 fingers representing the limbs, and the 2 in the middle are longest, like the legs. Besides that, we have 1 projection in our body which is different, not parallel in the same direction, but a different one. It is the head compared to the limbs, and it's shorter, rounder, and thicker than the limbs. The head is bigger. For children, or when they see, if they can pass the head through the bars of a fence, they can pass the whole body. Right? It's the biggest part of the body, thickest. Which finger is the thickest in the hand?
The thumb.
The thumb, yes. So that means that thumb is head. So now, knowing that, you can treat a headache instantly just by massaging the thumb.
Wow.
Or back pain here, or a knee pain, an ankle, any problem like that. That's something you're able to help instantly for most people, and very often, regardless of the pain has been here for 2 days or 20 years or 50 years, sometimes you can improve it immediately. And sometimes some people are completely cured, even in 1 time. And it's not my magic power, also I have some like everybody else. It's a technique, meaning you can do it.
Right.
Anyone can do it. With a proper knowledge and technique, anyone will have results. Now if you've done it like 100,000 times, you might get better results than someone that is doing it for the first time.
Right.
Practice makes perfect, that's obvious.
Exactly.
And so we teach children, we teach mothers at home, fathers. Children treat their parents and grandparents sometimes. But in 2008, I was teaching in Bogota, in Colombia, and I demonstrate a few times, because we teach the theory and then practice. Anyone with a pain, anyone with a problem, and as I was teaching that, very, very simply, someone said, a woman said yes, and okay, so I was expecting her to have a problem. She said, no, that's for him, that's for my son. Okay, what do you have? I have a headache. Okay, the mother says yes in Spanish. I'm lucky. I taught a lot in Spain, so I can understand a little bit of Spanish. So he says, yeah, I have a headache, and the mother says yes. He has a sinusitis now for 2 weeks or something like this already. So okay, so in that case we didn't use needles. I use colors, green color, and I make a little smiley on his face, on his thumb, not on his face. He was smiling. So here maybe.
Okay.
We can show this picture afterwards.
Yes.
To see the body in the hand, and so. Luckily, instantly his headache went away and he was very happy. I was very happy too, because it doesn't work 100% of the time like magic. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it takes like 1 hour until it goes away. But most of the time, some difference we can notice immediately. So it's also how good we know to look, how well we can look. So this young 7 years old, if I recall correctly, is very happy. The mother is happy. Everybody's happy. He's super cute too. And then someone says, "Me too. Me too. I have the same headache." And I look and I see an older woman, not too old. She's a great grandmother of the child. But she's 70 something, I think, 70, 80. But in she was in great shape. Very alive spirit. And said, okay. And I'm telling I said to the child, here is the green pen. You will do it for her. Just draw a smiley on the thumb. Hello. And so he goes towards her, and I ask her, how long have you had that headache? She has 15 years. I said, I was less proud. I was less assured at that moment already. I was like, oh, I hope it's going to work. So he does the same, and then I ask her immediately after, how do you feel? Any difference? She says, yes, it went away from here, but now it's here. So then I told him to make a point. I told him to on the sides of the thumb, for the side, for the temples, 30% better, 50% better, and then he had to do on the other hand and make more. Basically, she was all covered in green, her thumb. And within 5-10 minutes, all of the headache was gone. And sometimes it never returns, and sometimes it returns after 5 minutes, and sometimes it holds for 2 weeks. But the thing is that we teach the people how to do it themselves.
Right.
Anyone can put some color point or massage the finger, and so that's it. We work in hospitals. We train people. We work with veterans of the war with post-traumatic stress disorder, phantom pains, cancer patients, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer, Parkinson.
So that was my first
depression,
question.
anxiety, etc., etc. Now, the more you know, I mean, let's say someone that doesn't know anything about health, or they know where it hurts and they know what to do because they understand the principle, but a brain surgeon or a psychiatrist or a gynecologist, they can use that knowledge, and this is why it's mostly medical doctors that were trained in this modality since 1987 until today. Originally, it's mostly medical doctors that practice this, but Professor Park Jae-woo's vision is be your own doctor. Everyone can do it. We should have a Sujok doctor in every home. This is the idea. Anyone can do it. Everyone should do it. So mankind can regain more dignity. Oftentimes, people in suffering, physical, emotional, and spiritual, and then life become suffering. Especially when there is a very serious health issues, people feel that they are completely disempowered, that they are helpless, and the doctor is like God because they know about life and death, and we don't, and so these people feel victims, and fate and destiny, maybe God is against them because they're faulted, and they need to be expiating their karma. Many spiritual ideas of the kind, and it's true, but it's an illusion. Because everything is perfect. God is perfect. Creator, source, did a perfect world. Is perfect. She's perfect. So God did a perfect world. Therefore, there can be only perfect beings in it. And the suffering is an illusion. I am not healing anyone. I'm studying with them and holding that space in which they heal themselves, and whatever I do, but this is just like, wake up, here is a mirror, you're doing your own healing. And so someone that is suffering of low self-esteem and self-love because they are in pain and they don't want to be a burden to their families, to society, etc., etc., they are suffering a lot, especially from self-deprecation and depression. When physical pain becomes chronic and is constant, emotional pain is constant as well, and then depression comes in naturally. So when we teach someone how to heal themselves, suddenly they become their own doctor. Now the doctor is almost like God. He can help people in terrible situations. So now the self-esteem is uplifted, and now self-love is growing, the aura, the spirit, the mind, and now they feel much better emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically. Also as the pain is subsiding, people feel much better. And now when they understand more and they get that enthusiasm and they want to share it, something even better is happening. Now they will grab the hand of their beloved, their mother, their father, if they see that they have a back pain too. You know, it worked for me, it helped me, let me do it for you too if you want. And now the terrible back pain and limping, sciatica that this person had suddenly is gone, or improved 90%, sometimes in seconds. Whether it lasts for a long time or not is not the question, but at least at this point in time, they have sometimes full relief in seconds or minutes. And suddenly the person that beforehand was a victim and in pain and not being able to do anything but take painkillers if they have the money to buy them in some places, you know, in the third world or emerging, developing countries, they don't have money, they don't have any health insurance. I worked a lot in Africa and other places, and with a humanitarian organization, NGOs as well. So now I'm not only that I became my own, from the suffering and being in pain and not knowing what I can do to help myself or others, I became, sometimes in minutes of showing this little map and explaining the simple explanation I gave you: head, neck, chest, abdomen, 2 legs, 2 arms. God created us in His image. He created the hand in the image of the body, so we can be our own gods, our own healers. He's the divine healer. We are also. If we are the children of God, we are God-like, as it is written in the Holy Scriptures. Right? I like that idea. I grew up as an atheist and agnostic, but I like the idea that there is a greater force. There is some benevolent force that wants our best. And even if I'm wrong, at least it makes me feel very good. So, anyways, when we do Sujok treatment from Professor Park with knowing that we are loved and we love one another, this is the most important thing. Free love in the sense of giving, helping each other, being of service to a greater cause than just ourselves. Usually the results are much better than if we just do it without any spiritual guidance, any spiritual intention. So from being a victim in pain, powerless, the person becomes their own doctor. First thing, they reduce their own pain and suffering and are more active, more dignity, more power. And then they become someone else's doctor. Because when they understood how to get rid of their own back pain, chances that they will be able to help someone else with similar back pain are pretty high, actually, statistically. They will succeed at least in 50, 60, or 70% of the cases. Very, very high statistic rates of success are the highest I have met in the medical field. And I have been working with medical doctors for almost 15 years, full time. And so, you know, and even beginners succeed most of the time. So they become their own doctors, their own healer. They become their family and their friend healers naturally, without a PhD. Although it's rocket science, the basics are very simple. And the third thing now, not only am my own healer, not only am helping you, for instance, if needed, but you know what? You can do it yourself. Look, this is the point I press. Anytime your back hurts again, you do it yourself. Find the painful point in your hand, massage it with your finger or a pen, the round part, right? And see what happens. I'm teaching someone, actually I was supposed to teach him right now. Hopefully I'll show him this footage, he'll be very happy. He had terrible health condition. He used to be a programmer, a coder, and a martial artist and a physical trainer, a fitness trainer. He had a breakdown of all his immune system. He started to develop pains like rheumatoid arthritis, a lot of pain. For a young man in his late 20s, early 30s, his wife left him, very terrible story. And to be with someone who just crippled is not a lot of fun over time, after a few years. Anyways, she could have sticked around, everybody did do what they want. But wonderful young man. We had a Skype session, and I showed him what the little map, and to find painful points and massage them. During the Skype session, I was at LAX actually. I had to fly, and he had his ankle was completely blocked and in pain. For a while, he couldn't walk properly. I told him where to massage in the finger. As he did it, all the pain gradually, within a few minutes of him doing it for the first time, all the pain went away, and he could walk normally. If he slept for the first time more than 20 minutes in a row, or 2 minutes in a row for the first time in years, and his health is incredibly better. It's not completely healed, there's much more work to do. This is the kind of things. The people that are willing and just doing, they have wonderful results in most cases, and very, very fast. That's something we can teach children, we can teach the audience, and anyone can do this. We can also do this through motion, like Tai Chi, very simple, very easy Tai Chi, or kind of yoga, developed also by Professor Park Jae-Wo. We call this smile yoga, smile Tai Chi. We smile meditation, and we do some different motions to activate the energy lines, the meridians, and the chakras to harmonize. And there's also twist therapy. If it's painful to bend forward, usually, and it's comfortable usually to bend backwards, and then we shake also the sides, and then we twist. If we find the most comfortable position, sometimes in 30 seconds, even very chronic pain can go forever. That's the second thing we teach, twist therapy from Professor Park Jae-Wo. And the third thing I mentioned is smile meditation, including smile yoga and smile Tai Chi. And actually the most amazing results of healing are not from the Sujok acupuncture, which is the most powerful technique of healing that I know. Not from twist therapy, which is equally powerful and sometimes even more, just by finding the right motion to move the energy properly.
Right.
But from the smile meditation, mind smile meditation, body smile meditation, soul smile meditation, and life smile meditation. So this is what we teach, and we teach very advanced practitioners that have usually lots of experience in spiritual work and energy work, medical doctors practicing Chinese acupuncture, neurology, psychiatry, and that have studied many modalities and teach them, sometimes in university. And this has originally the kind of people that came to study Sujok, and we were able to develop the Sujok together with them, because Professor Park will give them the new methodology that he constantly developed. Okay, you're going to treat all these diabetic patients using this technique developed. So he wrote about 100 books, some big ones, small ones, some very advanced, and some just do it yourself at home. Very simple. Kids can do it. A 10-year-old that can read and write will do that easily, if they're interested, of course. And
Sure.
And that's a wonderful thing. And now you massage your finger every day, and your diabetes is getting better and better and better and better and better and better. Some people, with over time, they don't need insulin anymore. This kind of things. And how do we do it the most fun way? By singing and dancing and doing meditation. Because I know you teach this beautiful work, and
Thank you.
We could at some point maybe dance together and sing and be happy.
Do the soul dance. So let me ask a few questions, because I don't think we have so much time left. Basically, a lot of people ask me, like, how effective is acupuncture? Now, let's suppose someone has cancer. What length would you say it will take for a cancer patient to feel better, and how effective is acupuncture?
It's a very good question. There are many studies with different types of answers. The placebo effect can be very powerful. So because in China, for instance, acupuncture is much more effective than in the other countries.
Right.
And but I worked starting in 2004 in palliative care with cancer patients at the end of life. And since many of them passed away, sometimes it's very hard, especially when they are children. And doing the acupuncture for them in the hospital with the doctors there. And so I've seen some people that I've seen many things happen. I've seen benign and malignant masses, tumors, disappear or shrink when they were very big, sometimes often instantly, usually instantly, whether it was a partial shrink or complete disappearance, it depends. And when it's spread everywhere in the body, and it's in the lymph, in the bones, in the liver, in the blood, in the brain, in the lungs. Even if we remove some tumors, the person still passes away. But what I what I did see with these people, is that instead of being in extreme pain and not being able to talk and connect and need a lot of morphium, they were able to be without the painkillers and to say goodbye to their parents and their friends in a peaceful way,
right,
without needing the drugs. And people that are not at that stage, I've seen breast cancer disappear instantly. A woman helping her and removing the residuals, the pains and everything. She's actually a very high-level lawyer, this woman in Paris. And her husband is a doctor. And so we did that work in the morning. And in the afternoon, she went to her husband's office, ex-husband, and did a ultrasound and X-ray. And it was completely clean from 3 breast tumors. So we don't decide when
sometimes it's instinct.
When the soul comes to this world and when it leaves, and life and death, it's not in our hand. And we can help, and we just have to do our best and have no attachment to the outcome, and just do our best to be of service. So some people greatly benefit in the way that it releases them from pain momentarily, and some people get fully healed. This is more rare because it's almost a miracle. It's a miracle, Professor Park explains that this is a spiritual healing, that the power of their soul is summoned and ready. Because I am not doing the healing; they are doing their own healing.
Right.
I am merely a mirror, and my role is to try to be as impeccable as I can be, so that I hold that presence and allow for them to bring their own higher self, their own soul, their own light that will do the healing. And whatever I do doesn't matter actually, because some people do it. Very high spiritual leaders do it with or sometimes they are unknown, not necessarily in the public. Great people with spiritual powers throughout all history, and today still happening every day in every country. They give a blessing and the disease is removed.
Right.
We call it placebo, we call it it's psychological, we call it in many different ways. To me personally, the label does not matter, just the result. It can be placebo, I don't mind. It can be the acupuncture, it can be the chemotherapy, I don't need to take credit for it. And most likely, I'm not the one to have credit, it's the patient. Right. And maybe it is the chemotherapy that didn't work for 20 years for that person, or kept them alive, but didn't heal it. And now it started to work, but suddenly it worked for the first time instantly after 20 years. This is what some doctors think. And maybe they're right, I don't know. But anyways, the result to me is what's important. And I totally support chemotherapy when it's what's available, needed, and maybe there are better things sometimes, maybe not. I don't pretend to know, but I train medical doctors and oncologists, and I learn from them. I just show them the little bit that I know. Okay?
Right.
So, which has been a fantastic blessing for me to learn so much. My students are my teachers. I'm so blessed to be in that place. But of course, Professor Park, he's not my student. He's my teacher. He passed away now. So
he passed away. Right.
So, cancer specifically, I would say that the doctors working in Sujok Academy, the medical doctors, especially the oncologists working in Sujok Academy in Moscow and in Kazakhstan in Honorary College, where we were very active, and now in India, where it's very powerful, very successful. Sujok, we have our R&D center developed and opened by Dr. Park Min-chul, the International Sujok Association head, the successor of his father, the eldest son of Professor Park. He's a medical doctor and studied in China, Chinese medicine for 6 years. His brother, the vice president of the International Sujok Association, is Dr. Park Min-yu, which is a medical doctor and also a Sujok doctor, allopathic medicine MD, studied in Russia. So we roam the world and teach anyone that's willing to learn. Now I've been appointed a few years ago when he was alive by Professor Park Jawo to be the head of the International Sujok Association in the USA. I opened this association in different countries in the past. and open schools for Sujok, published books in different languages, including Arabic, French, and others. And Farsi, not yet. Soon.
We're going to start that. I'm sorry, dear B.
It's time to dim it down? Yes.
Yeah.
So just to conclude with your question of cancer. So sometimes the benefit seen is small, and sometimes it's tremendous, including full recovery.
Right.
And it can be full recovery instantly sometimes. That's more rare. That's rare. But yet, that does happen. And so usually for serious illnesses such as cancer, Parkinson, Alzheimer, multiple sclerosis, schizophrenia, advanced depression or an anxiety, usually these serious conditions and orphan diseases also that cannot be healed through allopathic medicine but can be healed with Sujok sometimes. We see it. The best course of treatment that doctors have seen is usually about 6 months. Usually it's going to be 15 treatments, one every other day, and then about 21 days of rest, and another 15 sessions every other day, and 21 days of rest and another 15 sessions. But some people are healed after 5 sessions.
Right.
But the thing is, between the sessions that the acupuncturist, the Sujok doctor is doing, whether he's using a needle or not, many people don't use needles, Sujok doctors. Because in Russia, for example, in order to practice acupuncture, not only you have to be a medical doctor, you have to be a neurologist, a brain doctor. So you have to have your degree in neurology before you can do acupuncture. It's very strict.
Wow.
In France, only medical doctors can officially practice acupuncture.
Right.
So many Sujok doctors, that's the way we call them, Sujok healers, Sujok practitioners, use just seeds like black pepper, colors, massage, crystals, and they see instant results, wonderful as well. So basically that means that it's almost 6 months of treatment to receive the maximum potential, to receive like the really, really deep healing. And I remember seeing a medical doctor come, older gentleman. I was in 2003 in my clinic. I used to be a very busy practitioner, and then I went into teaching, and then I went more into the organizational and running the schools and the non-profit association for the development of Sujok in different countries. But I still do some teaching and treating a little bit when I have time. I'm trying to make more. So I remember seeing this medical doctor, older, wonderful man. He came with his wife, very beautiful. She reminds the eyes. Also, they have both blue eyes. They're Russian originally. A lot of light in it. Reminds me a little bit of your eyes, in a way. So this medical doctor with the most severe Parkinson you can imagine, the most severe. Oh, you have a lot of imagination. I don't know your imagination. Very severe, anyway. Could not talk, could not move, except tremble. Very, very difficult. Within 3 months, he seemed completely normal. In his case, I saw him come to my clinic for about 10 years, almost 10 years after that. It was in 2003. His Parkinson never returned.
Beautiful.
He would come if he had a knee pain, or to bring his grandson, or for his wife, or a friend. And every 6 months I would see him, every 3 months sometimes. If he had a shoulder pain, or any problems people go through.
Right.
And when he passed away in his 80s, early 80s, he was still strong actually. And he never had any occurrence of Parkinson's symptoms ever again. He had I think kidney or heart failure, but not dramatic. Just he passed very peacefully in a very healthy way, I would say, without suffering. And so sometimes people are relieved, but the next day or 2 weeks later it comes back. Especially if they don't keep coming. I hope to have the miracle one time. Sometimes we're granted these extraordinary things, but usually it's a process.
Got you. Yeah. Joad, unfortunately we have to wrap up. Thank you so much again. So just as we were talking and we're sitting here, something just popped in. Is there any way we could, because I know you do some work at your place, you got this beautiful house on Woodland Hills, is it possible if we gather some people together that you could do some teaching and people come from? Yes? Okay, beautiful. And also give us your information. What is the information? How could people connect with you?
Absolutely. So I would say www.sujokamerica.com. Sujok is spelled S-U-J-O-K. And I will I will send you my information. Oh, and phone number.
Phone number.
310-463-7706.
310
463
463
7706.
7706. So people can contact you. You do individual private sessions,
Yes.
right? And you do group healing, group sessions.
Yes, mostly group teachings.
Okay.
But yeah, when I'm available, I'm very happy to see people when I can.
Beautiful.
Sometimes I travel out of the country, out of state to teach or do other things, but I'm very happy to see people in the community here.
Very good. And we try to arrange something. Maybe we start doing some posts for the next weekend, following weekend. We check that out and see when you're free and when is the best time for you. And of course, people have to pay something to accommodate for your time, your knowledge, and all that. So we arrange something, and maybe I can have you back coming if you're free next Tuesday.
I'd love to.
To continue. Would you like to do that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
We
beautiful.
can show some Tai Chi. Maybe I can get this closer to the camera.
مریم جان can you get a میتونین close up این کارتو بگیری؟ Just one second. اگه ممکنه یک ثانیه we're done, we're closing. یک close up از این دست ما رو بگیر. Great. I think we need to twist it a little more this way. Good.
I can also bring it to you.
No, that's good. They can get it. They just have to switch the camera from the back room. Very good. Beautiful, beautiful.
I'll turn it around so you can see the website on it as well.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I see. Wow.
There we go. Very good. So this is the card, and it shows exactly which area point is representing which part of the body.
Yes.
Very, very good. Okay, can you turn it around so they
That's
can
it.
see your website? 1 second. Okay, SUJOK therapy. The number you have there is 424. Is that a correct number?
Yes,
or
it reaches me as well.
that would, okay, 424-652-8404. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Joad. Lovely having you on my show. Hope to see you next week, the same time. Hopefully you won't hit the traffic. دوستان عزیز خیلی ممنون از این که در این برنامه با ما بودین. سعی میکنیم که هفته دیگه جواد رو بیاریم برای اینکه انقدر صحبت و حرف و اطلاعات هست. در هر صورت میتونین دایرکتلی با خودش تماس بگیرین. با آرزوی بهترین ها تا سه شنبه آینده. I love you.
I love you. Smile.
Thank you, Joad.
Thank you so much.
Okay, darling. We didn't have a chance.